Well, greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to a brand new edition of the Anthony Around Town Show, the best darn talk show in Elko, Nevada. I'm your host, Anthony Crosby. This is the weekly show where we hop online as a community and talk about some cool people, sometimes some cool businesses, heck, sometimes even some sweet events. I tried to change up from using the word cool 3 times in a row. That's what synonyms are for, or not synonyms, whatever. That's what we have a dictionary for, so don't keep using the same word. But it's all cool. It's all awesome. It's all legit. It's all, as I said, sweet. Whatever word you want to throw in there. It's just a good time whenever we hop online and spend some time with each other every single Monday night. If you're new or just joining us, welcome to the live stream. Basically, this is how it goes. Every single week, we hop online and we just spend some time engaging with one another, talking about some things going on in the Elko area, and, just becoming better friends along the way. So appreciate you making time out of your evening, or if you're watching this later in the week, thank you so much for taking the time to check us out, because I know life just gets busy. You got schedules, you got work, you got kids, you got grocery shopping, you got sports to watch. It's all so hectic, but thank you so much for just taking a little bit of that craziness, setting it aside, and joining your good old pal Anthony for a little hangout time. Usually, I'm joined by my good man, cameraman Matthew, but he's having the night off tonight. We have an early video shoot tomorrow, so he's probably resting up for that and hanging out with his lady, I hope, because obviously we're only a few days away from Valentine's. So hopefully, Elizabeth, if you're watching this, Matthew is spoiling you well and enjoying his night off. But yeah, no, I'm here. We're doing this thing because, number one, my name's kind of on the show, so I kind of have to be there. And 2, I don't have a girlfriend to go and to spoil, so I'm going to be here with you. You all, my live stream compadres, you're going to be my girlfriend this year for Valentine's Day. It's all good, because I truly do love you with all of my heart. So that's how that's going to look. I hope you all have been doing well this last week. Let's see, what's been going on with me since we saw each other last? Nothing too crazy, just kind of been hanging out. Just can't believe it's February already. I mean, in 2 senses. Number one, January for me felt like it was a long month. Like, I can't believe it's already month number 1 in this new year. Took forever to get through, but we did it. But in the second sense, I mean, there's only 12 months in the year. We're really done with one of them. So are we just going to sled on through 2020 and the next thing we know, we're going to be celebrating New Year's again? I don't know, but it was just one of those weeks where we just had stuff to do, and then you blink and you're like, oh my gosh, it's already the second week of February, and we are actually talking about Valentine's and stuff like that. So that was me, but I just hope you all have had a good last 7 days, whatever you've been up to. If you've been hanging out with family, if you had to work a little extra, hopefully you're staying healthy and all that. And just, again, thank you so much for joining us this evening. Before we get into what we're chatting about tonight, just wanted to let you know about an awesome sponsor that you need to keep in mind, and that is going to be our good friends at NV Off-Road, because this awesome studio space that we have that we're streaming out of right now, that's actually made possible by our good friends at NV Off-Road. They actually provide the space that we use to do the stream and record episodes of the podcast. And again, tomorrow Matthew and I are going to be shooting a video here early in the morning. So super thankful for them. And if you're not sure what NV Off-Road's all about, you're like, okay, Anthony, I get the name, I see the logo on the screen, but what exactly do they do? Well, it's quite simple. If you have an ATV, a snowmobile, motocross bike, anything of that nature, and you just want to spend more time riding it and enjoying it with your family and friends rather than tinkering it within your garage because something's not working or, just needs a tune-up or what have you, then I would just recommend you just check out our friends at NV Off-Road, because they specialize and making sure that you spend more time out on the hills, on the slopes, in the snow, wherever it is. They just want you to spend more time enjoying your vehicles rather than trying to figure out what's going on with them. So you bring them here, they'll take care of you, and then if you'd like, you should tell them that your good friends over here at AAT told you to stop by and give them some love, and they really should. We're very thankful for our friends over at NV Off-Road. All right. So there we go. Let's see. What are we talking about tonight? We have some cool stuff to talk about tonight. Last week, we put out a couple of blogs that we're going to get into. First off, I just want to say thank you for all of you who checked out the video we put out last Thursday. Very popular, very successful video, performed very, very well. So I just want to just say thank you for watching, and thank you to my good friends at the Boy Scouts of America for inviting me out to shoot that vlog. Very, very thankful for that. Not going to spend a whole lot of time talking about that video in particular, but if you hadn't had a chance to go watch it, it's on here on our Facebook page, or you could check out our YouTube channel. Just search Anthony Around Town. So thank you everybody who took the time to watch that. But we had 2 blogs coming out, or came out last week, and we're just going to get into them. We're just going to talk about them a little bit, and tonight's going to be really intimate. I guess that's good because it is Valentine's week, and so that's kind of the theme of the next few days, if you will. But it's just going to be you. It's just going to be me. We're just going to hang out and we're just going to chat. So hopefully, for those of you who lost power out in the Elko Spring Creek area, you got your power back. You're able to plug in your phone and stay connected and juiced up throughout the next half hour or so as we chat. Hopefully you've already done this, but I've seen a lot of people balancing brooms in their kitchen because I guess apparently there's something going on with the gravity or NASA or something like that. So everybody's obsessed with their brooms right now, standing them up and making them look like a ghost is hanging on to them. So hopefully you already did that. You took your picture. You posted your picture on Facebook. You're going to get the likes. It's fine. Now come over and hang out with your boy Anthony. I don't have a broom. Not as cool as a broom, but, it's still a good time, I promise. So that's kind of the plan. Thank you again so much for joining me. So let's get rocking and rolling. The first thing I want to let you know is that Anthony Around Town actually has a brand new sponsor that we want to give some love to. That's right. How Anthony Around Town works practically is we just go around to local businesses and organizations and just ask if they would partner with us. See if they are, just interested in supporting what we're doing here at a week-by-week basis. And in return, we give them some love on all the content that we put out, and so that's going to be the case for our new sponsor, Remax Gold, the Jesse James team. So very, very excited to work with them, especially because in Elko we have a lot of fantastic realtors here. That's just kind of well known is that Elko has a lot of people working in that space and really awesome people. So I was just very thankful that one of those individuals in particular, in this case Remax Gold, the Jesse James team, got to me and said, Anthony, we want to sponsor your content and we want to work with you because I just think that's just such a big part of our culture is our realtors and our housing market. So the fact that I get to work with one every single week is amazing. So what I want you to know about the Remax Gold, the Jesse James team, is that they're actually in the process of thanking all of their clients, past clients, present clients, future clients, all that good stuff by rolling out a brand new loyalty rewards club. So I talked to Jesse today, and what she wanted me to let you guys know is that if you want more information on these loyalty rewards, all you have to do is call 775-777-5220. That's 775-777-5220. You can see the number and all the info on the screen, or stop by, obviously, and see her 940 Idaho Street. But if you want to take advantage of this sweet kind of rewards promotion they have going on, then again, just give her a call. I was trying to think of a sweet tune to put to her phone number so we could all remember it. I couldn't really do it before the show started, but I'll try again right now. So if you're going to call Jesse, you just got to do it at 775-777-5220. I guess that wasn't really a song. I just said it in a weird way. But there you go. So thank you again to Remax Gold, the Jesse James team, for sponsoring Anthony Around Town. All right. Let me get that off. Let's get into talking about the first blog that came out last week that we were able to publish on our main site, anthonyaroundtown.com. The first blog actually had to do with a local travel agent, and her name is Sue Bradford, and her travel agency is called Journeys Around the World. And I was really excited to talk to Sue because I talked to a couple before I was even talking to Sue, and they were actually surprised when I told them, yeah, I got some stuff to do today. One of the things I'm doing is I'm interviewing a travel agent for the website. And they were like, what? We have a travel agent here in Elko? I didn't even know that. And that's actually kind of the theme for the the blogs that we put out Wednesday, and the one we'll talk about a little bit later on Friday, is that some people didn't even know that we had these businesses here in Elko. Or in Sue's case, and Sue and I even talked about this, there's people who don't even think we have travel agents in general as a society, if you will, because, you have the internet, you have Expedia, you got booking.com, you got whatever it is, and so people just assume because you can go on the internet and type in, I want to go to Bermuda, and all these, prices come up, that a travel agent just isn't necessary, an obsolete position nowadays. But Sue and I got to talk, and she was like, no, actually, that's not the fact. In fact, so I talked to some people who the internet has kind of changed the way that their position has looked, if you will. I'll just put it that way. But a lot of them will be like, oh, man, no, like the internet is we just got to compete with it, and it's rough and all this stuff. But Sue, she was actually like, actually, the internet has kind of helped me out and my business out a little bit, because what she's able to do is just sit down with people who are obviously looking to travel and just provide a free service. That's right, it's free. I don't think I was able to put this in the blog. I ran out of space, but it's a free service to the client. Sue makes her money through the booking and the online deals and all that back end stuff. But to sit down with Sue and tell her, hey, my family wants to go on vacation. We want to go here. We want to do it for this price. We want to do it at this time. And you essentially turn all that info to her, and you just let her worry about the details, the bookings, the rooms, the flight connections, train connections, all that stuff. She was just talking about like how she's able to use the internet to help people do that, and then in return, the people don't have to worry about that when they're on vacation, because they didn't have to sit and kind of connect all those dots themselves. They let Sue do it. And as you might have read in the blog, she was talking about this one gal who booked a vacation to Athens, I believe it was, with Sue. And when she got to her destination, come to find out that her room just hadn't been reserved. Something happened at her hotel. So in Athens or Greece, it was like in the middle of the afternoon. Sue said when she was here in Elko, obviously it was like 2, 3 in the morning. So the gal got a hold of Sue. It was like, hey, what's going on? I'm not sure. I don't know what to do. I'm not from here. I don't speak this language. I don't know anybody. Can you please help? Sue thankfully got the message. I woke her up. She saw it, got out of bed, and was able to kind of just see it was just some kind of computer error. But Sue was basically like, that's kind of the benefit, right, of working with a person rather than just giving all of your trust to online services, because if she would have used one of those online sites, then the gal might have been stuck or just had to pay more money or something like that. So it's really cool when we're able to talk to locals in our community and see what they're doing and support them in what they're doing. And not only just support them, but know that we have one of our own neighbors supporting us in some ways and having our back. Because obviously when you're talking to Sue, an actual person who can know you and understand you and help you out in that way, it gives some reassurance knowing that, okay, again, I have an actual person helping me through this and providing me assistance rather than just giving the interwebs, if you will, kind of that service. So just really cool. Go check out the blog if you haven't already. Sue's fantastic. Yeah, but she told me this time of year is what's called wave season, I believe, which is super busy for her because this is when everybody wants to book their cruises and their trips and stuff like that because, probably because everything's super cheap. She's like, cruise lines are all competing with each other to give some spots away, so there's that factor. And also tax returns are coming in, so everybody's using that money. So she's probably super busy dealing with all that, but I'm sure she would love to chat with you if you want to, follow up with her and kind of see what she's about. But if anything, go check out the blog on Anthony Around Town, and you can learn a little bit more about her. I was telling Sue when I talked to her that one of my big dreams in life, and I might have talked about this on the show before, but one of my big dreams and goals in life is to go on a cruise. It really is. I've never been able to set sail on my maiden voyage yet. I've always dreamed about hopping on a boat and of course, getting the alcohol package so I can party it up and just kicking back on a nice warm chair and just floating out to somewhere tropical. Like, that's always been a dream of mine, and I know a lot of people have done it. I know my family even actually has been on several cruises without me. I always just get left at shore for whatever reason, responsibilities, I guess, and they're off living the time of their lives, and I'm just, over here. And I obviously I love Elko, but it gets cold here, and it would be nice to just sit on the beach every now and again. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, never been in one. It's just a goal. Maybe one day. We'll see. Maybe after my kids are old, because as I get older and they get older, they're gonna want to go to Disneyland and see the princesses and stuff. So maybe one day. This is a goal. We'll see. Maybe within the next 20 years or so. So I was telling Sue that, and we just talk about different places people go. In the blog, I asked her, well, what are the 3 most popular destinations for people here in Elko? Where do they like to go? And I think she said Disneyland, Hawaii, and Cabo is what she said. So just been thinking a lot about traveling, especially ever since I talked to her. And just really thinking about where exactly I should go, because I know I want to go on a cruise. I want to go somewhere, but I just don't know exactly where, because I just never put in the work to do the research. So what I thought for tonight, what would be fun, is to turn it over my traveling fate to what I call, the bowl of destinations. That's right. So in this bowl, I have 10 different destinations. Could be around the world, could be not that far from here. I don't know. I just picked 10 random locations, and I'm just going to trust this piece of plastic right here to tell me where I should go for my vacation. And maybe I'll give it some, wiggle room, and maybe I'll pick 3 out of this bowl out of the 10. But we're just going to see where I'm meant to go on vacation. So maybe actually after I draw out of this bowl, I'll actually set up a time to talk to Sue about this. So whatever I get, I'm just going to make the best of it. So let's see where we're going. Destination number 1 is Disneyland. That was number 1. Okay, so let's make the best of this. We're going to Disneyland. That's what the bowl has spoken. We're going to Disneyland. Okay, I guess the reason why I'm kind of like about going to Disneyland is because I've been to Disneyland a few times. I actually was just there last summer because my sister worked at Disneyland for a couple of years. She helped do all the costumes and the dresses and the behind-the-scenes stuff for the different shows there, like Frozen and all that. So we were able to go and to hang out with her there. And it was cool, but like I said, I've been there before, so I gotta make this the best. I think what I would do if I was going on vacation again to Disneyland, let's just say I'm not bringing my kids, because I have a very strict rule with my kids. My kids are 3 and 4, and I always said I'm not bringing them to Disneyland unless they're older, like maybe 10, maybe, we'll see, but older, because right now I can barely stand bringing them to the movies because they can't even make it through a 2-hour movie without getting crazy. So I couldn't imagine trying to take them to hot Southern California, walking around for 8 hours at Disneyland. Just couldn't do it. That's just me. I know a lot of people are into taking younger kids to Disneyland. That's fine. That's just me. So I went and took my kids now. Let's just say we're going this year. What I would do, since I've already ridden the rides, I've already high-fived Mickey, I've already had my churros, there's this little section of Disneyland called Downtown Disney. And it's not actually in the parks, I don't think. I think it's like kind of just a hangout place between California Adventure and Disneyland. And it was so nice. What my family and I did when we didn't want to hang out in the parks is we would just go to Downtown Disney and we would just sit in this like roped off adult sections, and you could get like a fat margarita and some tacos, some good food, some really good food, and you just sit there and you just people watch and you eat some tacos and you sip on that margarita and you enjoy the nice warm weather, and you just do that all day. And then maybe you go back to your hotel and you take a dip in the pool for a little bit, just cool off, change up a little bit, and then maybe take a nap, just chill. And then as the sun starts going back down, you go back to Downtown Disney, get some more tacos, get another margarita, and you just sit again and you do some more people watching. And eventually, as the sun goes down, the fireworks start, and there's the fireworks and there's all that. and you just call it a night, and you go back to your hotel, and you just fall asleep from the heat and the alcohol, and you just sleep away, and then you wake up and do the next thing. So that would be my Disneyland vacation. That sounds really, really nice. Yeah, so that's how I do enjoy Disneyland. Okay, Bowl of Destiny. So you sent me to Disneyland. Where else would you like me to go? Let's see. Where else might be fun? The Bowl of Destinations says staycation. That's the next thing. You probably can't see it because my lights are too bright. But staycation. Thanks, Bowl of Destinations. You're really allowing me to see the world. Okay, I said I got to make the best of it. So if I'm doing a staycation at my house, I guess I'd go and load up on a bunch of food. Popcorn, a lot of tasty beverages, all that sort of good stuff. Then I would come home. Actually, no, depending on what is there, maybe I'd stop and get a Redbox, because I was going to say I could rent movies from my house and stream them, but sometimes it's cheaper to get it for the Redbox. So I get a movie for the Redbox, go home, get a nice, well, it depends what time of year it is. If it's right now, it's still blanket season, so maybe get a blanket, bust open a bag of popcorn, and just watch movies. And then if there's some basketball games on or sports, sit and watch some sports. And I guess just find a good show to binge. There's some good shows out, like on Netflix or something like that, and just kick back and do that all weekend. Maybe even turn my phone off, so I'm just not scrolling through Facebook all day and watching people stand their brooms up all day. Maybe I would just turn it off, and I would just kick back, and I would just sit and overdose on popcorn and rum and cokes and watch The Circle for the third time on Netflix or something like that. I think that sounds pretty good. I mean, if you're doing a staycation, I guess. I mean, and then, maybe I'll even treat myself by going out for a nice fancy dinner somewhere like the Star or Luciano's or what have you. But I guess that sounds pretty good. But again, that's the Bowl of Destination. So far, it sent me to Disneyland, and it sent me to my own couch. So let's just try one more time. Bowl of Destination. Where else would you like me to go? It says I should go to Hawaii. Okay, Bowl of Destination. That's a big jump from California and my own house. Okay, Hawaii's cool. It's awesome. Again, another place I've already been to in my life. That's all right. I haven't been to Hawaii. How old was I? I was young. I don't know, maybe like 10 or 11 is when I went to Hawaii. What was funny, when I go to like family vacations when I was that young, I feel like I was, doing stuff before they were cool. I was like the original hipster, because I would bring like a family camcorder, and I would legit vlog my trips. And so I would show us packing, and I would show us on the beach, and I would show my brother getting buried in sand, and I would talk to the camera and narrate and all that stuff. And the word vlog wasn't invented yet. There was no YouTube. Nobody was doing that, but I was doing it before. It was cool. So yeah, maybe I just, I was way before my time, way ahead of my time, if you will. But yeah, I would like to do another Hawaii vacation. It was super sweet. I remember really liking it. My favorite part was snorkeling. See some sweet fish and coral and eels and all that sort of good stuff. Weather's obviously legit. You can kick it on the beach. Trying to think of what else we did while we went to Pearl Harbor. That was obviously pretty memorable. So obviously it's Hawaii. I mean, come on, it's Hawaii. There's going to be some cool stuff, especially as an adult though, because again, I was a little kid when I went last time. So to go as a grown man and be able to do some stuff, maybe go play some golf, maybe go to a luau, get me one of those hula skirts things and do the thing with the hands, all that sort of good stuff. I don't know what that dance is called, but I don't know. What is that dance called? I know there's a name to it. The luau is the place. The dance is, I don't know. And then what's the lei? The lei is the flower necklace. I don't know. I mean, maybe I need to get a little more versed on my Hawaiian culture before I go. So those are my choices according to the Bowl of Destination. I can either go to Hawaii, I could go to Disneyland, or I could just do a staycation. So I guess I'll have some thinking to do before I go talk to Sue. But what's your guys' favorite vacation spot? I'm curious. Where's some sweet places you've been on vacation? I guess Hawaii is probably the coolest place I've ever been. I've never been to Europe, never been to South America. Never been. Australia would be pretty cool. I've always wanted to go check out the Aussies. But I don't know. Let me know if you guys watch this video. Even if you're watching in the future, let me know where your favorite destination vacation place has been, or where you really want to go. Because I guess according to the bowl of destinations, those are my 3 choices there. So again, super thankful to Sue Bradford for sitting down for me for that blog. Go check it out on our main site. It was a very good time talking with her. All right, guys, let's pause and do some more sponsor love. This time, we want to give some love to our friend Elise over at Heartwood Wellness. That's right, over at Heartwood Wellness, you can find Elise O'Brien and her business. She specializes what's called Ayurvedic counseling, which basically it's a form of counseling that really gets to your soul and really gets to a lot of stuff what's going on beyond just the basic, okay, take this medicine and try it and see what happens. She really spends some time giving some personalized health and spiritual care to you, and just really tries to be in touch with your being and figure out, okay, as a person, as somebody who's dealing with this and has this body type and all these different things, let's put together a plan to help you feeling the best, to help you feeling great. And I've been spending a lot of time with Elise because over on her Facebook page, we just been putting out some videos there every Friday for her, because a lot of the stuff that she's introducing to the community, it's new stuff. Like, again, Ayurveda honestly took me like 3 weeks before I could even say that word properly. I had to ask her, like, wait, what's it again? So maybe these are just terms like you just haven't heard, or doshas and all that. But she does a great job over at her Facebook page breaking down what those things are. She does that every single week just to help bring some more understanding to the community, because a lot of the things that she's able to provide through her business, I believe, are just things that could be very beneficial to a lot of people, especially people who are just struggling with a lot of, maybe stress or body imbalance stuff and things of that nature. So what I would do is I would just recommend checking out Elise's Facebook page. I believe it's just Elise O'Brien Heartwood Ayurvedic Counseling. Just search that, or just scroll down a few places here on our Facebook page, and you'll see some of those videos we were able to put together over there. So thank you again to Heartwood Wellness and Elise O'Brien for sponsoring Anthony Around Town. All right, so we talked about Wednesday's blog with Sue. Let's talk for a little bit about Friday's blog that we put out for our Small Business Friday of the Week feature. This blog, I'm super thankful for this blog, because I kind of said earlier, the theme for last week seemed to be businesses and people in our town doing stuff that people may not have even known about, or didn't even know that people were still doing in Sue's case. But in this case, especially, didn't know that they were doing it in the Elko area. And that was the case for Friday's Spotlight, that being on Hughes Lumber Elko. Hughes Lumber Elko is ran by a sweet couple, super awesome. Love talking to this couple. Their name is Chuck and Bonnie Hughes. Again, we had coffee for a while, and it's just so great talking to them, because number one, they just have such a passion for what they do, and number two, you can just tell they just really, really care about what they do. So I guess that goes with the passion, but they just really, really have a heart and a belief for their work. And if you don't know what their work is Chuck has a sawmill. So you're like, a sawmill in Elko? Like, isn't that like, what the lumberjacks use in Oregon and stuff like that? But nope, Chuck has brought that business here to Elko. You can find it again through Hughes Lumber Elko. You can search that on Facebook. But yeah, he has a sweet sawmill, and him and Bonnie will actually bring in different types of wood and logs from California, specifically the Tahoe area, and use those logs to make a variety of different things, and they'll do it for anybody. So they were talking to me about this one lady who had a washer-dryer set up, and she needed a little shelf to go up above her washer and dryer. And it had to be a certain dimension, right? Because maybe her house was just, the gap was just a certain size, and for her to go to Home Depot and just buy like a whatever, it just wouldn't fit. So she went to Chuck and was like, hey, can you make this for me? And they were able to hook her up. Well, not even just hook her up, but give her like a legit quality wood by how they hooked her up. Because Bonnie was explaining to me, like, you go to a big box store like a Home Depot or a Lowe's or a Walmart or something like that, and they'll say, this is a 2x4, and this is what their definition of that is, and by their big box definition, that's a 2x4. But she's like, if you actually measure it and compare it with what Chuck and I would define as a 2x4, it's going to be a little bit different. Ours is going to be a little more accurate to the actual measurement, if you will. And I don't know a lot about this stuff, but they are obviously the pros. They've been doing it for 12 years, so they'll do anything from just that one shelf for somebody who needs it above their washer and dryer, all the way up to they've done work with the mines and different drillers and ranchers making posts for fences and all that sort of good stuff. So it's really awesome. And again, probably the coolest to talk to them about was in the fact that they just put so much care into their work, and you can just tell that Chuck really loves doing what he does, because Bonnie was just describing it as like an art, like you just might think he's just cutting wood to be used for something, but no, in reality, he's putting so much care and so much thought and so much precision into the pieces that he's making every single day that it takes a true artist and true keen eye to do those things. And so she would describe going around town to different bars and different venues here in the community, and these venues would have used Chuck services in the future to make like bar stands and stuff like that, and countertops, things of that nature. And so she'll walk in and she would just be so proud because she'll see her and her husband's work in an establishment in the community, something that people get to enjoy and hopefully will enjoy for a long, long time. And so it was just really nice to see their heart behind that. And that's what I just love so much about doing this whole Anthony Around Town thing, is getting to talk with so many different people and learn so much about what people are doing in our community, things I wouldn't have even known or didn't even know outside of doing this. I didn't know that we had a sawmill in Elko. We wouldn't have known that in a million years if I wasn't doing this. And but to sit down with two professionals in that space and see their heart and to see their passion for the work, it's just such a blessing to me. So I just hope through these blogs and all that you're able to see that passion, and then I truly do hope it's a blessing to you as well. And so that's what I'm excited about keeping going with this. Like, I'm excited to see. It got me thinking as I talked to Chuck and Bonnie. It got me thinking. I was like, I didn't know there was a sawmill in Elko. I wonder what other businesses in our community, Elko, Spring Creek, Carlin, there are that I just don't know about, or that just a lot of people don't know about. So just thinking back, like last year, I wrote a blog on a beekeeper, honey producer, someone who has a bunch of bees and uses her bees to create different flavors of honey and honey-like products. And again, I didn't know we had anybody in doing that. And so I'll talk to them and be like, okay, so how long have you been doing this? Are you new? A couple months? Is that why I haven't heard? It's like, no, we've been doing it for years. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's super cool. So it just got me thinking of okay, what else is there in the community that I just don't know or people don't know? And so if you're watching this and you have something sweet and legit like that, hey, I have this off-the-wall business, or I have this unique business to our community, then please reach out to me and let me know. Even if you don't want a blog or a video or a podcast made about that in particular, maybe it's just for me. Even if it is just for me, just to come and to learn about who you are, what you do, I would really appreciate that, because that's just, for me, a way that I can just continue to fall in love with this community, is just by seeing new and refreshing and sometimes hidden aspects of it that I would just never know. And I just truly believe Elko, even though people say, Elko area is small town, not a whole lot going on, I don't know, something tells me there's quite a lot going on, maybe even more than we think. So it's nice to go on vacation. Thank you, Bull of Destination, for sending me to Hawaii or sending me to Disneyland. But I always love Elko, and I always love coming back home to Elko. I mean, even though you did give me a staycation in Elko, it would be nice just to go out for a little bit. But again, I love this community. I love all of you. And I thank you so much, Chuck and Bonnie, for sitting down with me last week to talk about your business. Oh, they have something sweet just for Anthony Around Town followers. Don't know if you caught this in the blog, but they said if you need some woodwork done, could be for whatever, that they would be willing to knock off 10% of whatever project you wanted to have them do, just by saying, hey, I heard about you from Anthony Around Town, or I read about your blog. I read your blog on Anthony Around Town. They're willing to do that. So if you have something that you're like, man, it would be really nice to go have somebody super gifted like Chuck handle this for me, yeah, save a little bit of money. It's cool. One of my favorite stories they shared, well, I think I put this in the blog. I'm pretty sure I did. But just in case, one of my favorite stories was this guy had a tree in his yard or something like that, and his kids used to play on it. They used to swing on this tree. So they had to have the tree cut down, but instead of just getting rid of it, obviously it was their childhood family tree. All of his kids played on it. It had sentimental value to the family. So he had Chuck cut up the tree because they were going to turn in the leftovers into benches for the kids to take when they get older and always have their piece of the childhood with them as they grew and started families of their own. So super awesome. I just love what people in our town get to do. It's just so much more than just business or just doing this or doing that. As we kind of talked about last week, what people do in this area matters, and so we're just super thankful to highlight that every single week here at Anthony Around Town. All right, well, as we get ready to wrap up this rendition of the show, I just want to let you know what's coming up this week, new content-wise on our website and all that sort of good stuff. Let's see. So something a little bit different. Tomorrow, usually on Tuesdays, I do what's called our Rewind blogs, where here on our Facebook page, I'll kind of polish up a little bit and republish a blog post that we did last year or in the past. So those of you who are new to following us, you're able to read a feature that maybe you had missed in the past. Tomorrow, we're specifically going to do a small business feature. I haven't decided which one we're going to do yet, but tomorrow's Rewind is going to be small business related because this Friday's there's not going to be a brand new Small Business Friday feature because Thursdays I'm just going out of town. I'm going to Reno, going to hang out with some family and do a little getaway because my birthday, as we celebrated here on the stream, was a couple weeks ago. And so I didn't really do a whole lot to celebrate that. I went out with some friends that week, but didn't do a super lot because I knew I was just wanting to save and go to Reno. So that's what's going on. Have some family and friends going to go hang out with. And one big thing you guys can keep in mind: have your, be rooting for your boy. All right, let me just share this with you right now. So Saturday at one of the casinos in Reno, they're having, the show The Bachelor. You guys watching that right now? I don't know if you are. If you probably heard of it. It's like one of the biggest reality shows on TV. It's currently going right now. If you're watching this season, so much drama. Not a fan of Peter. Not a fan of really any of the girls. They're all crazy. But what they're doing in Reno is they're having a Bachelor version of The Bachelor in Reno. So my sister's taking me, and you never know. Maybe I'll find somebody to give a rose to. Maybe I'll get to go on and compete as a contestant, and yeah, I guess we'll see. I mean, again, if you're watching this season of The Bachelor, I'm sure I could do better than Peter. I'm sure anybody could be doing better than what Peter's doing. So keep that in mind. That's what I'm doing this weekend. This weekend I might be going to give somebody a rose at this Bachelor event. If anything, maybe I'll do what all the contestants who go on The Bachelor or Bachelorette do and get a sweet Instagram influencer deal. Either way, it's cool. But so anyways, that's what's going on this weekend. So no new small business feature this Friday. We'll do a rewind on that Tuesday. Wednesday, we're going to have a brand new blog coming out. It's actually pretty cool. Don't know how to... Yeah, you'll see on Wednesday because I'm not as good as cameraman Matthew at teasing things, so I don't want to give too much away. But that'll be out that'll be out Wednesday. And Thursday, we're going to have a brand new episode of the Anthony Around Town podcast out. This will be episode 4. So, as usual, I'm going to show you just a little teaser for that podcast. And so check this out and then maybe mark your calendars so you don't miss it this Thursday. Let me show you what's up. All right, as usual, we have a very special guest joining us this week. This time we have Miss Elise O'Brien of Heartwood Wellness. Elise, how are you doing this week?
I'm doing great, Anthony.
This is our opportunity to really go deep into the mind of Elise. Does that sound like a fun thing to you?
Heck yeah.
Good. I was nervous for a second. We're going to do something a little bit different today. We are going to get Elise's perspectives on the 12 astrological signs. So we're talking everything from Libra to Aquarius. But what I didn't let her know is that there's a twist, because of course there is. This is the Anthony Around Town podcast, and we got to keep people on their toes. So here's the twist. Elise is just going to go through the signs one by one and just share her thoughts, share her opinions on each one of them. And then at the very end, I'm going to give you Elise's rankings of the 12 astrological signs based on her answers. So for example, if she sounds just a little bored talking about Leo, then that's probably going to go at the bottom. But if her eyes really light up when she's talking about the Scorpio, then that might be going to the top. Again, she had no idea I was going to do this. I have no idea how this is going to go. But we're going to have Elise rank these signs right now. Elise, how are you feeling now that you actually know what we're doing on this podcast?
Oh, I'm so nervous.
The list that you're hearing right now, the final rankings will close in a little bit. This is the definitive list of all lists. So don't care what you read on Facebook, what you read on Google, what other podcasts have to say. What Elise is saying now is the final testament. So you're very lucky to be listening today. All right, yeah, so that's going to be a fun episode of the podcast. It was really nice to talk to Elise about that. Yeah, she gives some good insight. It's interesting to hear about the difference. So another teaser. I share a story on the podcast about a certain person who is a certain sign that really caused me a lot of conflict as a young, early 20s college Anthony. So ever since... I'm just pretty sure this person is that sign. It's the way Elise described that sign. So you'll just have to check out the podcast on Thursday and then just see what sign you are. Where does Sagittarius rank according to Elise? Where does the Leo rank? Where does my month, the Aquarius, rank on her list? You'll just gonna have to tune in to find out. But that's coming out Thursday, and we're super excited. We announced last time that you can now officially listen to the Anthony Around Town podcast on your favorite podcast hosting providers. So that's our Anchor page, anchor.fm/Anthony Around Town. You can listen to the podcast on Spotify. And then we finally got everything set up for you to listen to the podcast on iTunes and Apple Podcasts. So wherever you choose to get your podcast, you can check that out this Thursday, probably like around 8 o'clock is when that podcast is going to get published. All right, as we get ready to wrap up, nope, that's not the one I want. There we go. We are going to just give some more love to our sponsors. We have Remax Gold, the Jesse James team. Thank you so much for sponsoring Anthony Around Town. Elise, who you just saw in that podcast teaser, we thank her and her business Heartwood Wellness for sponsoring Anthony Around Town as well. But this little graphic is here just to remind you that if you have a local business here in the Elko community and you want to follow Jesse and Elise's lead and sponsor all the cool stuff we're doing here at AAT, then we'd love to talk to you about what that could look like. Being a sponsor for Anthony Around Town means that not only are you making it possible for us to do all the things that we do on a week-by-week basis, but you're going to get some awesome publicity and promotion and advertising for whatever it is that you do here in the community. So you heard on the live stream, the blogs, the videos, podcasts, we're going to blow you up, if you will, so people in the Elko area make sure we know that they know who you are, what you do, and how to get a hold of you and give you that exposure. So if you'd like to join our sponsorship team, all you have to do is email anthonyaroundtown@gmail.com. That's anthonyaroundtown@gmail.com. All right, guys. Well, that's going to get ready to do it for this rendition of the Anthony Around Town show. I hope you enjoyed our time hanging out together. I guess I need to go pack my bags for either Hawaii, Disneyland, or just to go to my living room. Nonetheless, again, thank you so much for making time to tune in. Some things to keep in mind before we let you go officially. Anthony Around Town is on all over social media. So whether you are here on Facebook, if you're watching this outside of our Facebook page, maybe consider going over to our Facebook page and giving our page a like. If you're watching this, we're also on Instagram. Just search Anthony Around Town, YouTube as well. Just search Anthony Around Town there. But our main site, if you want to stay up to date on all the content we put out, is just anthonyaroundtown.com. All of our blogs and podcast links and even this live stream will be uploaded there. So you could just see our main site and learn a little bit more about us over there. Also, darn it, I was going to let you guys know about this. Well, I'll put up the graphic next week. But actually, do I still have it? Indulge me for a second. I do still have it. So I was going to let you guys know that we have a film festival coming up. The GBC Film Festival is happening, actually starting this weekend. It goes for 2 weekends. It's this weekend and then next weekend, I believe. I was going to put the official graphic up, but I forgot to add it to this live stream software. You can go to Anthony Around Town and just search Russ Minter GBC Film Festival to learn more. But I was going to let you guys know about that because we have a community bulletin board on the website, anthonyaroundtown.com, where every single month I just update that, which is a whole bunch of going-ons in our area, whether it be at the film festival, local gatherings, maybe you have an event coming up that you just want to make public. You could send all that info to me, and we'll make sure it gets on that community bulletin board, and that's just free. All you have to do is say, hey, Anthony, can you please put this on your bulletin board for your website viewers? And I'll say, you got it. So all that you can just do by emailing anthonyaroundtown@gmail.com. Doing that. If you want to help become a sponsor, if you want just to get a hold of me for anything, you want to send me on a vacation to Bora Bora, I'll take it. You have a question about what we do, you have somebody you like to recommend for a future video or blog or podcast, whatever. Again, all that can be done, anthonyaroundtown@gmail.com. Whew, I have to take a breath. And if you're like, I have to take a breath too, Anthony, that's a lot. I don't know how I'm going to stay up to date on all that. It's cool. We're good. I make it easy. All you have to do, again, go to our main website and hit the Stay Connected button. If you do that, you're going to be asked to put your name and your email. What happens if you give me your name and your email? Well, nothing crazy. All that does is that it's going to add you to our weekly email list. So what happens is every single Monday I send out just an email with all the different links of the content that came out the week prior. So links to all the blogs. Last week we had a video. The link was in there for that. This live stream, it's all there. So that way you open up your email Monday afternoon or later, and you'll be able just to click and enjoy. So all you have to do to be a part of that email list is just give me your name and your info just by hitting your name and your email, just by hitting Stay Connected. Or if you go to the main site and you just chill for like 2 seconds, a little pop-up's going to pop up, and you just put your info in that pop-up. All right, well, looking at my notes, I think I'm good. I think we did it. I think we had another successful rendition of the Anthony Around Town show. So seriously, thank you so much for hanging out with me for the past 47 minutes and 56 seconds. I really do appreciate it. I just look forward for everything coming out through the site this week. And we'll meet back here next Monday to talk about some more awesome stuff as a community. So until next time, everybody, we'll see you around, Elko.